Howdy, y'all. This is going to be episode 119 for you guys today. When my co-hosts join in, we'll go ahead and get things started for today's episode. Howdy, partner.
What the are you doing?
You know how Cowboys get down?
Oh yeah?
This is a Western showdown. Or we could take it back to you on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying?
Oh Jesus Christ.
Soto said he's still working, but I told Fred we was getting on, so it'll be me, you, and Fred tonight.
Okay. Ow, fuck. Something bit me? What the hell? Alright.
Whenever he comes in.
Was this your surprise for me, huh? Is this what you're referring to?
Yeah. Had to bring an extra cowboy on for you. They'll tell you about Sunday night when we get there.
Sure. Oh shit.
Oh. I'm gonna text him one more time.
Excuse me.
Let's see. Try FaceTime real quick.
Ow. Fries left. Mistake.
All right, he probably joined in after or whatever he's done doing, but he didn't answer. So me and you go ahead and get started, Rob, and then when he joins in, he can chime into what we're talking about.
Okay.
All right. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree of Onthehop podcast. Today, I'm joined by my co-host Rob Cerasuolo. We'll be joined by other co-host Fred Harris once he joins in. But today, this will be episode 119. We're going to be talking about a lot of football in this episode. So let's get things going, discussing how our teams played week one in the 2023 NFL season thus far. So Rob, you being a New York Giants fan, tell us what happened to those New York Giants Sunday night.
Just all around embarrassment is what happened, Tom. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know, we were just outclassed in every phase of the game. Daniel Jones basically had like 0.8 seconds to throw the ball every play. The O-line was just basically a bunch of turnstiles, like you're going into a damn roller coaster ride. You know, literally, Mark Lewinsky on our O-line, I think he plays right guard or one of the guard spots. You want to try and guess what his pass block rating was or whatever from per PFF? You want to guess?
Under 40?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Take a
20
wild guess.
in the 20s. Worse than that? 15. They can't be worse.
I can count it on a single hand. One. I literally saw that stat the other day on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, he literally had a rating of 1. Like, that just isn't gonna cut it. Like, come on now. Like, come on. Like, y'all had it going on defense literally every phase of the game. Like, you really didn't need an offense virtually at all. Dak wasn't really doing too much, and he made some good throws, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, he would get a short field every time, and basically he only had like 140 yards. Excuse me. But literally every phase of the game was just terrible. Like, block kick for a touchdown. The end of the half, shanks another kick. I've never seen Gano do that in my life. Like, he's usually like a sniper, but he shanked the shit out of that kick to end the half. Micah, I forget if I don't know. Did he have any sacks?
He had 1 sack. Yeah, he did have 1 sack.
I knew he had at least one, but like he could have had a lot more. I feel like if he wasn't getting so much attention, but he was basically creating for the whole team. It was basically giving way for everyone else to make an impact. And y'all sacked us, 7 or 8 times?
Yeah, 7 times, yeah.
That was unbelievable, man. I looked at Daniel Jones' face during that game. That man looked like he was terrified. Like, he looked scared for his life.
Yeah, he did. Had a whole lot of turf in his face mask, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that game's on him at all. I mean, like, he made some bad throws. That second pick he threw was fucking awful. It looked like year 2 Daniel Jones when he was with Jason Garrett, just doing shit.
Oh, the one Gilmore picked him off?
When he was running out of bounds and just like threw it into a crowd.
Yeah, that was the Gilmore one.
That was shit. The first one, I mean, it wasn't really his fault. I think technically that was a fumble on Saquon, but I guess he didn't have possession fully, so it counted as a pick. Kind of just like bobbled it and then gave it right to the defense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, like they just couldn't do anything at all. Obviously, I mean, I feel like, I mean, it's really like unclear how the defense did just because like they really didn't have much to work with. Like, it was always a short field or they were on the field constantly. Like, I can't really judge the defense. It was more everything. I don't know. But, yeah, it was just a terrible, terrible, one of the worst games I've ever seen from the Giants. I'm not even going to lie. There's just no other way to put it. But I don't think that's going to be who we are. I think that was just, I don't know. I don't feel like we're that bad. Like, I do feel like we have some pieces now. Hopefully, we have the Cardinals next week, so we better get back on the damn right track. But
I was just about to ask you, are you concerned with that performance when you guys play Josh Dobbs on Sunday when y'all play the Cardinals?
I mean, obviously that concerns me, being that we put up a goose egg. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like they just had a really, really, really bad game. And, like, I hope it doesn't happen like that again. I mean, especially under date, like, there's just no who lets them go like that,
Yeah.
For a whole, like, I don't buy it. I feel like, yeah, we got beat down. It happens. Not often like that, but it happened, and they just got to put it in the rear view mirror and just keep going and just, play as best as they can. I do think they can still make the playoffs. It's going to be tough, especially this year because our schedule is a lot harder. but we'll see. We will
Yeah.
see.
I just want to say, you remind me of something. I just want to say shout out to y'all kicker Gano because he was one of the reasons why I picked up the W against Bird this week, beating him by 1.4 points in fantasy. The block field goal I'll talk about in a second, and then shanking that kick before halftime. That really helped me because -2 points, and then he had Dallas Goedert who got him 0 points. Really helped me get that W this week. So shout out to y'all kicker on that one. But I will say I will also tip my hat to the New York Giants for making the Dallas Cowboys look like $1 million. Good as advertised. You know, we had our that victory against the Giants was 40-0, the largest Week 1 shutout since 1999. Let me answer that question real quick. Is Dak worth the hype? Can he lead his team to the Super Bowl? All right, before I continue on my take, this team is there. The roster is there for a Super Bowl, but like my co-host Rob knows what I'm going to say. The team goes as far as what Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy takes them. So it depends on what those two are going to do. The defense is there, the weapons is there offensively. It's just down to those two. And if we don't go anywhere, it's because either Dak folding in the playoffs again, or it's Mike McCarthy he's not going to know what to do when it matters most. Call and play. So it's definitely going to come down to those two this year for sure. But that Sunday night game, the Cowboys, they looked good. They scored on all three phases of the ball. Offense, defense, special teams all scored for us. Rob, I look, Daniel Jones, he proved a lot last year. Y'all won a playoff game beating a 13-4 Vikings team on the road. I commend y'all for that. But what happened to him? Because he went 15 for 28 passing, 104 passing yards, 2 interceptions, held him to a QBR of 8.4.
Well, I mean, he didn't have time to throw. Like I said, he was getting pressured and sacked every damn play, every time. Like, he had literally nowhere to go. Like, he was just scared for his life the whole game. Like, any quarterback would look like that. I mean, I feel like Joe Burrow should be getting more hate than he is this week. He had what? I feel like he did even worse. How did he have a QBR better than Daniel Jones if he had 80 yards passing? Like, what is that?
We're going to talk about him later on, but yeah, his performance wasn't good either. But that Daniel Jones QBR was documented as the lowest QBR in NFL history, and for quarterbacks having a QBR in an NFL game. But yeah, like you said, what's that?
Out of anyone, that's the lowest.
Yeah, 8.4, lowest.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, but like you said though, I don't know what happened to your guys' offensive line because they didn't look that bad last year. But like you touched on, the defensive line, Daniel Jones really had no time in the pocket. He was a dead man walking back there. He barely had any time to drop back. Majority of the time when he was dropping back, he had to put a Lamar Jackson impression on. Or what we used to call Jalen Hurts one-read scramble. That's what he was doing Sunday night.
Yeah.
Because he had time to drop back in the pocket and really look for anybody. But, yeah, that pass rush, like you touched on, them double-teaming Micah Parsons, basically him opening it up for others to get the pass rush going, led to us having 7 sacks. The pass rush looks good with Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dante Fowler. Our defensive tackles showed up as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the defense is going to look. Like you said, there is truth to that. Dak really didn't show anything because by the time he would get the ball, you're playing it safe. It's already raining. You don't really want to turn the ball over. So we really didn't learn what Dak is going to do under Mike McCarthy's new offense yet, West Coast system. I would have liked if Dak was more aggressive. Like you said, he did have some good throws. I thought he could have been more aggressive passing the ball. I think he should have at least had a passing touchdown or two. Jake Ferguson and Hendershot, our tight ends, dropped some touchdown passes along with Kayvon Turpin dropped one as well. So he should have had at least a touchdown pass or two. But the Cowboys look good, but Dak's going to have a big test this week. I think that Jets game is going to come down the wire, regardless of Rodgers is there or not, because of how elite that defense was the other night. So if Dak can ball against that Jets defense and show me something, what he's going to look like, I would take that. So, but that's my take on the Cowboys, how they looked. Hopefully, we can beat that New York Jets team that's coming off an emotional victory without Rodgers.
Hmm.
What's more
That's
likely, Detroit as a conference threat or KC as a mid-range playoff? Um, Before we move on, I'll answer that. To be honest, hmm,
I'm gonna
I
go.
feel like, oh, you go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna go with the former. I think Detroit's gonna be a conference threat.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the come up. They've been on the come up. Last year, they just missed the playoffs. I feel like they would have been fun to watch if they did make the playoffs. But I mean, they just upset Kansas City. Like, I mean, that's Travis Kelce or not, Chris Jones or not. I'm tired of people using that excuse. You got to roll players. You got to, regardless of what you have, you just got to go with it. I mean, you know, it's a testament to Mahomes that, hey, I think personally they should have definitely won that game. If it wasn't for former Giant Kadarius Toney, they would have definitely won that game. He dropped like 4 passes in one game, which is crazy. He looked like a JV football player out there for Northeast football. But yeah, I mean, they're a good team. They're a very good team to hold. So even drops or not, with all the drops, like even if they had the drops and they ended up winning the game, to hold them to under 30 points at their home field is impressive. Like their defense is coming together. Gardner Johnson looks really good for them. Hutchinson, of course, is really good for them. I was upset that they didn't give Gibbs more work. I really think in the next couple of weeks he's really going to break out. He looked very fast, very quick with the football, like deadly. Like he's going to be a weapon for them, I think. I know, like I know when I see talent, and I see it with him. And I really think they got a really good offense. They got receivers everywhere. I mean, if Jameson could stay away from the casino, then maybe, they would be a little bit better. But it is what it is. I mean, even without him, I still think they have a top offense in the league, top 10, But I do think they're going to be a threat, 100%.
Yeah, to answer that question too, I agree with Rob because when you look at the NFC, even though with the Rodgers injury now that we're going to talk about that later, I feel like the NFC is like the JV of NFL compared to the AFC is the varsity side. So the Lions, all they really got to do is just take care of business on their neck of the woods and just win the division. That's really all they have to do, and then it's wide open for anybody to compete in the NFC right now, especially come playoff time. So I feel like just like Rob said. The Lions are going to be a threat. I feel like in that game against Kansas City, they established what they're going to be this year, run first team. With a great offensive line, I think their offensive lines are one of the best in football. I agree with you also, Rob. I feel like Gibbs should have definitely got more carries. I feel like as the season goes on, he's going to get way more touches than David Montgomery. Even though David Montgomery is still going to get his touches, I think Gibbs is going to be I can see him having overall 1,200 yards overall combined with receiving and rushing this year for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm really high on the Lions this year because the NFC is really wide open this year.
I think that Montgomery I've never liked him, to be honest. I think he's like so mid. Like he's really nothing special in my opinion. Like I don't know why he keeps getting paid by teams. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but like he's never gonna be like he'll get you like 800, but that's about it.
Yeah. But moving on to the next segment, we'll be sharing our bold predictions for the 2023 NFL season. So I got a few. Rob, go ahead and go with your bold predictions first.
That's good. All right, bold prediction number 1. I think the Dolphins win their division. I truly do. After their shootout with the Chargers, I mean, Tua looked very impressive. Tyreek, obviously, Tyreek is going to be Tyreek. But that offense, man, it's just deadly. They have speed everywhere. Like, once they get their running game on point, like, I still feel like they should try to get Jonathan Taylor, even though they were trying to basically fleece them. The Colts were trying to fleece
Oh,
them,
for
basically.
Waddle, yeah.
There ain't no freaking way I would do that. But I do think the Bills are going to regress. I don't think they're going to be as good as they've been the last couple years. They didn't really add much to the team. I didn't feel like they got much better than last year. And I feel like, teams like the Dolphins are going to catch up to them. And the Patriots too. They played the Eagles pretty well, even though they lost.
Yeah.
They played them pretty well. It's not like they got blown out. They barely beat them. They made the Eagles look kind of mortal,
Yeah.
So I do think that the Bills are going to be tested this year. I still think they'll make the playoffs as a wild card, but I think the Dolphins edge them out by a win or two when it's all said and done. I really do.
Yeah.
So that's one I got. I don't know. I guess within the same division, I feel like, well, maybe not. Well, even without Rodgers, I still think that whole division finishes over 500.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everyone in that division will have 9 wins. I don't know how it's going to happen. It's going to take a lot of splits or, maybe a tie in there. But as far as that goes, I still think that everyone's going to finish at 500 or better for that division. I feel like the Patriots would be in last, either them or the Jets. Before the Rodgers injury, I honestly would have had them fighting with the Bills or Dolphins for the first, but that's just a damn shame. We'll get to that, but I think they'll all finish at least 8-1 or 9-8 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about another one if you want to go ahead and share one or two.
Yeah. Before I start, though, that Dolphins one is seeming really more realistic, especially after that game on Monday. Like you said, we're talking about the Rodgers injury soon, but after the Bills just look flat Monday night. That's a gimme game after that Rodgers injury. You got to capitalize on.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't get the habit. The Jets do have. I think they do have a lead defense and a good front seven, but you got to get something going on offense. A running game, passing game wasn't really effective at all. Dink and dunks were really, or slant routes. It was really, or intermediate routes was really what they were getting. It was really the yak yards, what the receivers were doing on Monday night. Josh Allen forcing the ball down the field. I've been saying this for a long time. He's a turnover machine, and he really cost him that game Monday. So I'm really iffy about the Bills right now. And like you said, they didn't really upgrade at all this offseason. No receivers. Their biggest grab during the NFL offseason was Dalton Kincaid, their tight end that they drafted in the first round. So they don't really have any wide receivers that's going to take the attention away from Stephon Diggs. But the Dolphins, honestly, that division right now is lucky that Jalen Ramsey is gone until December. Because if they had him right now, they would definitely be. I feel like they would start taking off and really running away with this division. But
I almost forgot, honestly.
Yeah,
man.
And Tua, it's just they're banking on him to stay healthy. If that man didn't have an injury history, I would be really high on the Dolphins. It's just if he goes down, it's like that's it for him. But yeah. I can see that happening. And then your second prediction was actually one of mine. And vice versa divisions. You said the whole entire AFC East all finishes above 500. I actually have everybody in the AFC North finishing above 500. I think every team is really highly. I think of every team highly in that division this year, from the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. Even though the Steelers got manhandled on Sunday, but Every everybody, I think they all are going to be really good teams this year. I think that's going to be the toughest division of football. But my one of my bold predictions was that the Browns actually steal this division and win the AFC North. Even though the Bengals are my pick to win this division, I'm not going to rule out what the Browns can do and them winning this division because they look good against the Bengals. Only holding that high-powered offense to 3 points, that's really impressive with all guys out there on the field. Even though Joe Burrow isn't 100%, he's still holding him to 3 points is like your most valuable achievement that the Browns defense has ever done. But yeah, under 100 passing yards, holding the Bengals only had a total of 6 first downs in that game. And I looked up the QBR, Rob, which you said his QBR was Joe Burrow's QBR was a 20.3. 20.3 against that Browns defense. So yeah, he didn't look good at all. But
Did he,
was that?
did he have any interceptions?
Oh, let's see. No, he didn't throw any interceptions.
Okay, that makes sense why it was better than Jones's QBR, because I know he didn't. I mean, he threw for, I guess, yeah, it's very similar stat line with 2 picks from.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another reason why I'm so high on the Browns is because they have a really well-balanced roster and they do really good against divisional matchups. Even though Deshaun Watson really didn't come back until the end of November last year, they still found a way to split the division series with all their arch rivals in the division, splitting the series with the Bengals, Steelers, and Ravens last year. So I thought that was really high. You look at what they have on offense: Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper. Who's that? Dante Peoples-Jones, Elijah Moore. They gotta go. Their offense is good, and then their defense led by Myles Garrett. I think that team has a lot of potential this year to be something good. My next bold prediction. Now I said bold because anything can happen, but the next one is the Cowboys earning the number 1 seed in the NFC. I can see them going 12-5 again this year for the 3rd straight year. We do have a lot of tests along the way. It's not going to be easy. I think that would be the hardest time to go 12-5 again. But bold prediction, they earn the number 1 seed in the NFC due to the fact that the Eagles have a tough schedule. I don't see them going 13-4 again. They really had an easy schedule down the stretch at times. 49ers, I could see them having some miscues down the line. Brock Purdy's not going to be perfect forever. I could see them going 11-6 and tend to start off the season slow, even though they started off hot against Pittsburgh on Sunday. It did take them a long time to get going last year. They started off 4-4 and then caught fire towards the second half. So if they start off slow and the Cowboys take care of business early, it could be a race to the first seed of the NFC. That's going to be one of my bold predictions. But I think this last one, you'll agree with me, Rob. I can really see this happening. I really can see the Cardinals tanking, going 2-15, and that with the number 1 overall pick. And if that happens, Kyler Murray's gone. They are going to go all in Caleb Williams because everybody's looking for that next Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's looking for that next guy to take him to the next level. The scouts love him. There's some new coaching that's been going on for Arizona. Cliff Kingsbury's not there anymore. So I could see if they have the number 1 overall pick, I could see them trading away Kyler Murray to a team that could be looking to upgrade their quarterback after this season. I said the Giants maybe into consideration for trading for him because Kyler Murray and y'all roster would put y'all over the top. Then y'all would be legit. Y'all are threats, but even more threats with him. A team like the Vikings, Kirk Cousins is going to be a free agent. Baker Mayfield is unsure he's going to be the franchise quarterback in Tampa with the Bucs after this year. So I can see that happening if they get the number 1 overall pick and go 2-15 or 3-14.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there's a possibility that they fire Jonathan Gannon. I mean, I know that he just got there, last year? But, I mean, I don't know. They might just want to start fresh everywhere. And, obviously, like I said, they just got Jonathan Gannon. But, I don't know. I don't think that he'll be there next year. But excuse me. Um, I don't know if I have any more or not. I'm trying to think. Hmm. I think I think Trevor Lawrence could be in the running for MVP this year. That's my bold prediction. I think Calvin Ridley, the addition with him, he looked really good. But I think with him in the offense, I think he has a shot. I do.
Yeah.
He, I mean, he didn't have an amazing game. I mean, did they win?
Yeah,
Did
they
they beat
won that. Yeah, it went down to the end, but they pulled it out. Yeah.
who? They played the Colts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say okay. Yeah, Richardson looked good that game too. I was surprised. He looked really good too.
Yeah.
Um, I think Lawrence has a shot at getting the MVP this year. I really do. I think that offense is pretty damn stacked too. You know, you got Ridley, you got Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram. You know, I think that offense is poised to be. I think that that guy is the real deal. It's who they saw when they drafted him at number one a couple years ago. He's got all the tools. I mean, I was calling him overrated early on. I won't lie, but like it's starting to come to fruition now. I can see why they drafted him. Like he looks. I think he's going to take a next step this year, and I think he'll be at least in the top three for MVP.
I can see that happening, especially with the offensive weapons that he has. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. I still don't even know why the Falcons traded him. I understand that man gambled on the team, but I would have kept him. Especially Drake London not even getting a catch or a yard against the Panthers on Sunday. So I definitely feel like they're gonna regret doing that. But
Yeah, he's a real deal. Calvin Ridley is a number one receiver. I mean, I know that you know it's gonna be he's slept on. He's been slept on since he's been in the league. I think his route running is crazy. Like he's got really good hands, really good speed and agility. I think he's got everything it takes to be your guy. You know.
yeah, I agree with that too.
Hmm.
All right, so we're moving on to the final segment. We'll be sharing on thoughts on Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles and being ruled out for the remainder of the NFL season after Week 1. Rob, what is your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers being gone for the whole entire season?
It's just unfortunate, man. Like I feel like the Jets are cursed. Like, I feel cursed. Like literally that same thing happened to him with Frank Tarkenton. The year after they were at the AFC Championship game, he had the same kind of injury, I believe, and he was gone for the year. This man really, it was all the hype the whole summer, on Hard Knocks, and he signed a big contract. He was the man. He looked really good in training camp. He had that handshake with Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
Um, you know, that it was cool to see, man. He looked like a different guy. He looked happy, like, looked like he was actually not like, like towards the end of his time in Green Bay, like you could tell he wanted out. Like, he wasn't really the same Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't enjoying himself. But he looked truly happy this year, and it just really, really sucks for them as a team because like they had such high hopes. They literally were a quarterback away from being a legitimate, Super Bowl contender. In my opinion, they have that elite defense, they have weapons, they have a good O line. They have everything you need to be a good team, and they just didn't have that quarterback. But to go down, especially in 4 plays, he didn't even throw a completion. Like,
that's
wow,
insane.
wow, like that's crazy to me. And like, they just replaced the turf at MetLife. They just got new turf, but like, they, I agree with the players. They should just move to natural grass. I mean, I don't see why it's so hard to see that. But like at the end of the day, it happened, and you just got to move on at this point. You got to deal with what you got, and it just really sucks. And like, I feel for them as a team. I feel for the fans. You know, that's just terrible, 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 terrible. I still think they can. I still think they're a threat. I do, but they're not. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna do much if they make the playoffs. In my opinion, I just they need that quarterback. They need to. They need to sign or trade for somebody at the very least. Like, give Zack Wilson a chance, but go get someone to push him to the next level, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, they need somebody to basically just, you know, push him to do well and have that chip on his shoulder to stay as a starter for the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I say anything, you had some good points about that. Something I wanted to talk about since you brought up the turf. I remember when we played y'all last year, week 3, and then the Sterling Shepard injury happened. He was basically just, what was he, running a route or was he blocking that play?
I don't remember. I honestly don't. I think he was running a route.
Yeah, and the turf monster got him. He tore his ACL at that stadium. And something I wanted to say since you brought that up is Roger Goodell was on First Take today, and he was comparing what the players were talking about of 2 different stances of grass versus turf. I agree with you. I think they just need to go to grass at this point. I mean, you're not going to tell the difference on TV watching the game. You're not going to tell the difference being in the stands watching the games at the stadiums. They might as well just go to it because players are getting hurt off the play. When I watched the Aaron Rodgers play, I was like, what happened? Because I'm like, he was standing up, then he just fell down, and then I looked at it several times. You could see like his calf raise up, tending to a torn Achilles injury. But yeah, that sucks because, like you said, I really think that they were really a quarterback away from, like you said, a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. I mean, everything's there. You got a number 1 wide receiver that's ready to break out, Garrett Wilson, elite defense, and you only get to use it for 4 plays, which ended up being like a total of like over 70 seconds in game time, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And your shots at going to a Super Bowl this year just all went up in flames. And it's like you said, 1 quarterback away. Now you're back to phase 1 how you were last year. You're back to Zack Wilson. You're back to basically potentially winning 6 to 8 games again this year after going 7-10 last year. But Rob, I agree with you. The franchise is cursed. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 1969. And they haven't won a playoff game since 2010. Never really had a true franchise quarterback up to this point until Aaron Rodgers. All taken away in a matter of 4 plays. So I just want to share my condolences to all Jets fans out there in the world. My heart is with y'all. And Rob, you definitely picked the right New York team to root for in the Giants because I don't know how any Jets fan could continue being a fan of this franchise. I mean, the Aaron Rodgers injury just happened, but like, you haven't won a Super Bowl since 1969. You haven't won a playoff game since Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez was there. You missed the playoff. They haven't been in the playoffs since that time. Oh my gosh, it's just like it's so tough for them. I feel bad for Jets fans because I feel like Zack Wilson is gonna get a chance, but it's only a matter of time before he just becomes a Zack Wilson of his own self because I felt like, and you've seen that in the game on Monday because the game after that injury, you could tell like the whole atmosphere of that game just died. Basically, I mean, they pulled it together and won at the end, but like the offensive scheme was basically set up for Rodgers all night. Nathaniel Hackett had to adjust on the fly to get Zack Wilson and that offense going. It's just gonna be. I feel like it's just gonna be rough for them this year. They still can compete. I think their defense is gonna keep them in games, but Zack Wilson, I think they have no choice. But what do you think about that, Rob? Should they go get a veteran guy? What do you think they should do?
They should 100%. And like, you know, I would start Zack Wilson for now because like obviously he's still young, and you know, let's say he turns the tide. I mean, he's never gonna. Let's put it this way: he's never gonna be more than like a serviceable starter. Like, I truly don't see a world and when Zack Wilson ever becomes a top 20 quarterback. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he just sucks. Like, he's not good. But, like, I say you rock with him for now. You go look for some help elsewhere. Maybe go trade for somebody. Maybe sign someone for the cheap just to kind of maybe guide him, or, let's say he stinks up the joint after, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then you look to move on from him. Then you look to put somebody else in there to kind of be that veteran leader for a year. I don't really know who's out there. I have no idea. I think they should make a call for Teddy Bridgewater, maybe somebody like that. I saw Colin Kaepernick had interest. That ain't gonna freaking happen. We know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if the Rams look good week 1, but let's say they start losing a bunch of games, and maybe they want to move off of Matt Stafford. That would be a really good pickup. They would be right back in the thick of it if they got Stafford. Yeah. But I don't know how his I truly don't know how his contract is going to work. I don't know if what happens with Rodgers' contract? Like, can they I don't know, is that still on the cap? Like, does it get voided? Like, he played 4 plays. Like, what the hell happens with that? I don't even know.
So I'll look up the contract situation, but in terms of that, it kind of screwed the Packers because when they made that deal, they swapped picks during the draft, but he had to play 70% of the downs this year for the Packers to turn that pick into a first rounder for next year's draft. So he's not going to play 70% of the snaps this year. So now that gets downgraded to a second rounder. So basically, the Jets officially got Aaron Rodgers for like a second round pick and a pick swap. It's crazy when you think about it. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I think I want to say his contract skills. Let me see. Aaron Rodgers.
Look up what happens to his contract now that he's hurt, because maybe it gets I don't know, maybe there's some kind of exception to where they can make a trade or get somebody, but it would still be on the cap to a certain level, but I don't know, because if I don't know if they could afford trading for Stafford if even half of that contract was on the books. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of screwed in this situation. Looking at it, 3-year, $112 million. You see this year the signing $7 million. Workout let me see. Cap hit is $8 million for him this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that ain't bad at all.
Yeah, but then after that, for this year is good. But dead cap is $74 million.
That's if they were to that won't matter. That's if they cut him or got rid of him this year.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They would never do that, obviously. But yeah, so that means they should have some room, at least if they could work out something with Rams. Maybe I don't think they'll do. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, because if the Rams start losing games, they don't have any assets at all. If they start games, they don't got shit besides Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Stafford.
Yeah.
So if they start losing games, you might as well start over.
Yeah.
So, you could throw Stetson Bennett in there for this year.
Oh, something happened. Hold on, let me look. Something happened to him. I saw right before we went on. He's not on the active roster right now. Hold on. Oh shit, Bennett. Yeah, there's Sean McVay just said it. Placed on non-football injury list as Sean McVay gives cryptic update, and he said, he's gonna miss the next 4 games. Out of respect, Sean McVay said, out of respect for him in the situation, I'm gonna leave all the specifics and particulars in house. So he must have did something he really wasn't supposed to. or
Yeah.
them basically kick him off the roster with a non-injury. But um, I think I think honestly, this weekend's gonna really set the tone for what they want to do moving forward. Well, they have now it's 4. They got 4 days to really prepare for the Cowboys now. A quick turnaround from the Monday Night Football game. I think that really this weekend, what you can do against that Cowboys defense and move in terms of moving the ball, because the defense is going to keep them in the game. It's going to be hard for us to score on them. But in terms of what can Zack Wilson do to muster up points against that defense is really going to tell me what they're going to want to do. I think getting a veteran guy like it sounds so nasty, but Carson Wentz is there. I wouldn't do it, but Nick Foles is on the market. Matt Ryan. Oh, yeah, thinking about that, you might as well just stick with Zack Wilson.
I mean, they could use one of those guys as like a backup, like I said, and like if Zack Wilson like really sucks, then like how much worse could it get, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, somebody like that would probably be more reasonable. I mean, if they really wanted a shot, then they could go try and get Stafford in that scenario I mentioned. If they start losing games and they want to start rebuilding and looking forward to the next few years, I mean, that's a good thing to do. Who else is available?
Oh, you know what? Since you said Teddy Bridgewater, that's a good trade for them. I was thinking of some guys that they could trade for. Maybe, I think we'd be stupid to do this because I think he should still be our second string over Trey Lance, who's still our third string. But maybe give Cowboys a call for Cooper Rush. Somebody that can win you games, doesn't turn the ball over. I don't think the Ravens would do it, but maybe Tyler Huntley, because Lamar might miss some games, but
I don't think he'll like that. I don't think he fits that scheme like that.
Oh yeah, in terms of run, yeah, you're right.
I don't know, because like I mean they could make it work with him, but like that's not somebody I would see.
I got one. If the Titans don't look good, maybe Ryan Tannehill, because you got two young quarterbacks sitting behind him, just waiting for an opportunity. And if I feel like if he starts off slow anyway, they're gonna give either Will Levis a chance, or maybe even who's the other guy they got?
Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis a chance.
He's garbage, dude.
I feel like one of them was a chance to start, but I think that's another thing to look out for. If he, because Ryan Tannehill, I mean, I don't really think highly of him, but he's somebody that can at least get you somewhere with the team around him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting to see how he plays. But definitely, Colin Kaepernick would be crazy, though. I don't think they're going to go through with that one. But Colin Kaepernick, like you said, if they wanted to give him a call, that would definitely shake things up for sure in the NFL.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you, Rob, before we go off. So, based off of what happened to Aaron Rodgers, do you think he could potentially retire after that torn Achilles injury?
I was thinking about that earlier. I think there's a chance because he was thinking about it before, but I don't think he will. He was having too much fun before. This summer he looked like he was really enjoying himself. He just seemed like a different Rodgers. Like he seemed happier. I don't think he's going to end it like that. Like there's just no way. I mean, I saw something. I can't remember what he said. It was some kind of, he tweeted something and he said it alluded to somewhat of a comeback. So I do think he will be back next year. I really think so. There's no way that a quarterback of his caliber, the quarterback that has his kind of legacy, I don't think he's content with ending it like, I think he'll give it another shot next year.
Yeah. I think you're right about that, about him contemplating it before he even got to the New York Jets, sorry. And then his post, you were right about that. It says vows to rise yet again after that torn Achilles. To me, I don't think, like you said, he was having a lot of fun for Hard Knocks. But honestly, I really wouldn't be surprised if he does. I think he's going to come back next year because I will say, if he was still with the Packers and this happened, I really think he would retire. Yeah, I think that would be it
Yeah,
because
he
you
would have
definitely did everything for that franchise, and that chapter should have ended. I think a year or so ago. He should have been gone a year or so ago. But
been. Yeah.
if he was with the Packers, I think he would have called it a career right then and there, or the next few days later.
Hmm.
But I think he's going to be back with that young Jets team because Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, definitely still on their rookie deals. There's still a lot of talent there. Maybe they could get even more talent during the offseason.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm just what I'm concerned about when he comes back is how is he going to look because that torn Achilles is going to be hard to recover from for him. He's going to be 40 in December, so being up there in age now, recovering for something like that, a mobile quarterback that loves to move around, make plays with his legs in the pocket, that's what really makes who he is today. I think that's just going to be tough for him to recover from. I think it might take longer for him to recover since he's up there in age, but I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's going to be back. I think he might be. I think it'd probably take 9 to 10 months for him to get back where he's supposed to be 100%. I think it's going to take him longer since he's going to be 40 in December, getting back to practicing and things like that.
Yeah, by the time training camp rolls around, like middle of training camp, I think he'll be basically getting back to his old self. And by the time week 1 comes around, he should be fine. I mean, I could see that, like, maybe they sit him for the first game or two, maybe, but I don't think so. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you're right. An Achilles, especially for someone at that age, is really, really tough. I mean, that's one of the worst injuries you can have. Like, it really sucks for him. And, like, he's definitely been one of my favorite quarterbacks growing up. I think he has, besides Mahomes, he's probably the most talented quarterback arm-wise that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um, just like the way he threw the ball and what he's done. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's like the GOAT, obviously, but arm talent wise, he's the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially when we shared our top quarterbacks of all time. I think we both had Rodgers in our top 5 all time. Yeah, we both had Rodgers in there.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, too. I think he is one of the most talented quarterbacks that I ever watched, too. He just gave me nightmares beating the Cowboys several times. 8-2 against us all time. I actually would liked if we played him this weekend. I think that would have been fun to watch, but not going to be there. But I am expecting him to bounce back next year. But hopefully he is back to who he is, and hopefully he's still mobile in the pocket, moving around, making plays like he normally does. So I'm looking forward to his recovery and seeing what the future holds for Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he beat our ass after the infamous yacht picture that we had. That was something.
Cowboys going to do what they do every year, choke. I mean, Alex, what the Ravens going to do this year? Come on now.
I don't know. I don't think Lamar got to get together, man. He looked like shit too this past weekend.
See, yeah, I was waiting. I wish we had Fred and Soto on tonight because I don't know. I mean, you're supposed to show me something against that Texans secondary. That's one of the worst teams that you're going to play all year long. And then I think he had one of the worst QBRs of the weekend too. Let me look up Lamar Jackson's QBR. Let me see. Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he was definitely in the conversation for having one of the worst QBRs this weekend.
I know he was bottom 5. That. That's true, Alex. Literally every quarter got paid.
6.
Played like it.
But that's why I said I'm not gonna give him a pass. But that I think one of the last things I'll say before we go off, I think they need to bring back more reps for preseason because a lot of offenses look really rusty during week 1. I think more teams need to give their star players more reps. I know you could potentially get hurt and you lose a player for a long period of time, but I think you playing against your own teammates in practice and stuff like that really isn't live reps. I think live reps is more like you're playing against live competition for a drive or so, just to get more comfortable and create a rhythm in the offense. But
Mm-hmm.
I think they should all teams should invest into that next year during training camp and during preseason time.
Mm-hmm.
Off season 7v7. That wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest. But they probably do that behind closed. They might do that behind closed doors already.
Yeah, they do. They definitely run it up like that for sure.
Yeah. But that's all the time we have for you guys today. Of course, signing off from the Dallas Cowboys fan base. Your host Thomas Tyree. My poor co-host Rob Cerasuolo, who had to watch that beating on Sunday for his Giants. But thank you guys for watching and listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree and Rob Cerasuolo signing off. And we'll see you guys on next week's episode.
Is there